Haven't gotten around to talking about enough French clubs on this channel, so today I thought we'd talk about OGC Nice from the south of France. They're nicknamed the Eagles. Their home colors are red and black, usually in stripes, but used in many different orientations, and predominantly the big element in their away kits as well. This kit from 2017 is one I really like. They generally do a really good job with their kits. Always something that looks really nice on them. This one has embossment around the badge, as you can see from their nickname. The eagle is on there. All black across the back. And this lovely pinned down collar here gives it a really good look at the top. Nice won all 4 of their French league titles in the 1950s, which is a pretty big achievement in my opinion, since French football was dominated by Reims at the time because they had almost every single member of France's first golden generation of footballers in that decade. Nice were additionally key in bringing international players to France for the first time during that 50s era, bringing club legends such as Pancho Gonzalez, as well as Luis Carniglia to the club. Part of that toe-to-toe with Reims during the 50s had to do with one of the former players from Nice, Jules Fontaine, going to Reims and finding even more success there, as well as with the French national team. So since that 50s era, they haven't had a ton of success silverware-wise, winning their last title, the Coupe de France, in 1997. Outside of silverware success, they bounced around as far as their position in the table in the last couple seasons in France. They did finish in the European spots and are through to the knockout rounds of the Europa Conference, but they've slid down the table a bit within the league. All that said, this club has a lot of young talent that, if it starts clicking together, they can go rising up the table and solidify as a force in French football again. The only thing really stopping them would be not cohesively coming together as a squad and other teams around the world coming and poaching their players. The best young talent in that crop has to be Khéphren Thuram, in my opinion. Son of Lilian Thuram, famed French international, and his son, I believe, is a good pivot and a great central midfielder. With the club being in the south of France and pretty close to Algeria across the Mediterranean Sea, they actually have a pretty strong amount of Algerian players, 5 in the current squad. 4 of them are already internationals for Algeria, with Youssef Attal and Hikam Boudaoui really standing out for me. A lot of these young players probably love playing in this squad, seeing as they're a very offensive-minded club. They play and start from a 4-3-3 position, which is the most common in football. They generally will mix it up and change formations almost every single match just to fit the game. A lot of that belief that these young players could merge together and grow as a squad came from the fact that Nice brought back their former manager, Lucien Favre, at the beginning of the season, and he's renowned for growing young players very well, but a long string of terrible defeats in the recent weeks finally got him sacked, which means that a lot of the older players for Nice, such as their captain Dante, have to come together and be those leaders in the interim for the rest of the season to try and get these young players to grow. They've also brought in a couple players from other leagues that you may know from around the world this season, such as Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester, as well as Aaron Ramsey and Ross Barkley. So that's your rundown on OGC Nice.